Brilliance Audio presents Stealing the Crown by T.P. Fielden, performed by Joel Froomkin. Outside, the streets around Piccadilly were awash with debris from the recent raid. The air, tainted by the smell from burst gas mains, the gutters running with water from the fire hoses, the gradual destruction of a once great city, and the terrible news from abroad had the effect of altering personal behaviour. These days, through the patina of good manners could be seen the slow decline of ancient values, and in dark corners, in the refuges of the night, a new order was growing at an alarming rate. Down steps still covered with plush carpet, and behind heavily curtained doors, two women dawdled over the remains of their second sidecar. Both were startling to look at. The blonde, in a lightly padded Betty Grable sort of way, her dark-haired companion undeniably beautiful, but looking slightly odd with her old-fashioned Eton crop. Their jewellery was expensive, but big. Their clothes looked new, and their high-heeled shoes were clearly still at the breaking-in stage, each having taken one off under the table. They spoke in carefully modulated tones, caution governing the delivery of their vowels. "Another, Lem?" It was now past 7 o'clock. "No thanks, Rhodey. Time for a dip." "No swimming pool here, ducks." She knew perfectly well what her friend was getting at, but never passed up an opportunity to tease. "No," said the woman, who answered to lemonade, but preferred to tell people she was Claudia. "The other. Do a bit of work. Remember your manners, girl. You're in the Ritz now." Upstairs, the permanent residents of the fabled hotel, from King Zog of Albania to Mrs. Keppel, famous mistress of King Edward VII, were preparing to move from their observation posts in the Palm Court into the dining room. An unofficial order of precedence marked their journey, with the king and his family slightly ahead of the bulky 73-year-old who'd made her fortune from doing what comes naturally. Others of lesser blood followed at a discreet distance. But down in the basement bar, life moved at a livelier pace, with white-jacketed old men circling like ballet dancers. Many had served here in the First War, retired, and now were hauled back for a second round of duty. For each the same rules applied. First establish the customer's place in the pecking order, then remember what they drank. "Thank you, Your Grace. 3 pink jeans, and your lordship another whisky with water on the side. Sir Henry, one moment, if you please." The two women idly watched this courtly dance, while exchanging pieces of essential information. In their line of duty, it was vital to keep on top of the latest developments, shifts in personnel, changes of location, fluctuating tastes and desires, who's suddenly rich, and who's dead. "Can't hang on much longer," said Claudia. "You can stay here all night if you want to, but I've got work to do." "Dippin', you can forget it. It's your first time in the Ritz, Lem. You don't know the rules. Sit down." Rhodey grabbed the hem of her friend's skirt. "Right time of night?" insisted the other, rising again. "Most of these boys have been here since the sirens went. They've drunk their fill and a few more. Listen to me, Lem. No, I want to get on. I'm meeting the boxer later." The woman called Rhodey looked around the lofty room, its ornate plasterwork as yet undamaged by the bloody conflict outside. Certainly, if you were in their game, this was the right place. At the bar, at the tables, lounging around the fountain down the other end, were men from the better regiments, the Guards, Dragoons and Hussars, with just a sprinkling of Royal Navy and RAF types as well. Few of them existed on their service pay, and none of them polished their own shoes. They were rich.
Sit down, Lem, and look at me. You're talented. You've got the looks, but you've got to learn. You don't dip the Ritz bar.
Don't be soft, said Claudia, taking out her powder compact.
They're just waiting to give it to a girl like me.
In a certain light, she was remarkable looking, and knew it.
That's where you're wrong. Use your eyes. Your eyes. What do you see?
A lot of rich men and a lot of rich women.
Notice anything else?
Good looking? Rich, repeated Claudia, joyously flapping her eyelashes, taking in the room.
And?
I don't get you. Only half listening, she was thinking about the bruiser from Deptford.
Notice something about the way they're sitting?
Nicely. Very nice deportment. No slouching, like you always tell me.
And?
Don't follow.
Oh, Lem. The men are sitting with the men. The women are with the women.
Claudia put down her compact and looked around as if for the first time.
Oh,
she said. So... Her voice trailed off in a mixture of incomprehension and disbelief. The two sidecars had fogged her usually sharp perception.
These people belong to a club you and I will never join,
said Rhodey. She gazed into the innocent face, waiting for the fog to clear.
And this bar is where they like to come. To be amongst their own, bless 'em.
What the 2 and 6pence are we doing here, then? Snapped Claudia. She'd progressed nicely from shoplifter to pickpocket on account of her looks, her nimble brain and her ability to move quickly. But despite the dress she was wearing tonight, despite her colossal appeal, despite the age-old surroundings of London's smartest hotel, she still looked like a kid on the make.